Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another game review. Today we're talking about Neoverse. This is a roguelite card battler that you can currently get on Steam. I never heard of this game before. Kind of came out of nowhere for me, but I happened to get it in last month's Humble Bundle, link in the description. I'm glad I did because I had a really good time with this game. Like I say, it's a roguelite card battler. It's often compared to Slay the Spire, which I still haven't played yet, but after enjoying this game so much, I will probably check it out sometime in the near future. But in Neoverse, you get to take control of one of 3 characters. Each is very different in their own way and allows for their own sorts of strategies. You have a ninja who has a sword and a gun, and she can do a lot of quick damage with those, and she also can inflict radioactive damage on enemies. This radioactive status is stackable and it can do tons of damage each and every turn passively. Then you also have a kind of paladin, holy warrior type character who has heavy armor and stuff, and she has cards based around things like faith and punishment that can kind of buff her attack and defense. Or you have my personal favorite, who is this summoner who can actually summon a dragon or a lion to fight by her side, or a griffin that gives her boosted defense. And each one of these characters has multiple kind of starting decks you can choose that allow for different strategies. For example, the Holy Knight character can be a vampire character instead. So instead of these kind of faith-based attacks, she has vampire attacks. Total opposite, but it adds for more variety for each character. You can really build out your decks and flesh out your decks to your liking. You start out with a very small starter deck, but as you play the game you earn more cards and abilities and all kinds of cool stuff to customize your deck as you go. If you ever played Magic the Gathering or even Hearthstone in one of those kind of formats where you actually draft a deck on the spot, it kind of feels like that. And since this is a roguelite, you're going to be playing over and over again, and it's never going to be the same. You're going to end up with different cards in your deck, and you're going to end up facing different enemies, and as you go, unlocking new content along the way. Content that sometimes will transfer over to your next run, sometimes won't, but it's super addictive to just keep on playing over and over again, seeing what happens each time and trying to get further, trying to develop your strategies and get the best cards and whatnot. The basic flow of the game should be pretty easy to pick up and familiar if you've played other card games like Hearthstone or Slay the Spire, of course. Basically, on your turn, you have a limited number of kind of, let's call it mana or ability points you can use, and each card that you use requires a certain number of mana to play. Once you're out of mana and can't do any more, it goes on to your opponent's turn, and you're going to be going up against all these different enemies. You're going to be outnumbered most of the time. These enemies have their own special abilities and buffs, and you really need to try and determine which one should I take out first. How am I going to strategize this when I'm so outnumbered? How am I going to defeat all these foes in front of me? What's interesting about this game compared to other card games is that each turn you get a whole new hand of cards, so any cards left over, they go back into the deck, and then you draw a full new hand each time. So there's no saving cards for the next turn. You don't know what you're going to get on your next turn. I like it. You pretty much always have a full hand this way. You're not going to run out of cards. Another interesting feature is this combo mechanic. You'll see a sequence of colors on the left hand side of the screen, and they're in a particular order, and each time you play a card it's going to change unless you play in the correct sequence to fulfill that combo. And when you fulfill the combo, it adds damage to your next attack. It doubles the damage of your next attack. So there's another cool thing thrown in. You're not always going to be able to do those combos, but it kind of guides you in which order you play your cards. Some of the time it can really help you sometimes. And there are different types of cards. There are blue cards, which are defensive cards. They add to your shield, your defensive shield. There are red cards, which are attack cards. These do direct damage to your opponents. You also have yellow cards, which are constant cards, and they affect the whole rest of the battle with passive effects for the rest of the game. And then you also have purple cards, which are instant cards, and they have various effects that go into effect immediately. Tons of variety here and tons of different strategic options, and it's always fun just fleshing out your decks and upgrading cards as you go, purchasing new cards. And again, since it's a roguelite, you're not going to heal. Your HP does not heal after each match. You have to go ahead and heal your character by purchasing something from the upgrades shop or by using cards that heal you. So it's kind of like a survival round. You're going as far as you can without dying, trying to get further as you go, and upgrading your character's abilities as well. There are passive abilities that can be purchased through these ability points that you gain for completing missions. I hope I'm not confusing you guys with all this. I'm trying my best to summarize this. At the same time, I don't script my videos. I don't write out a manuscript. I think it's more natural and enjoyable to listen to somebody just talking naturally. So that's what I'm trying to do here. But anyways, these ability points can give permanent upgrades to your character, at least for that run. Each stage you come across presents like 3 options, and you don't exactly know what bad guys you're going to be coming up against, but you know that some of them are going to be harder than others. You'll get notification if it's a boss stage or if it's like an elite stage. The harder the stage you choose presents a greater reward, but you can definitely choose to take the easier path, especially if you're low on HP or you don't feel totally confident in your character or your deck at that time. Each stage you take on presents a kind of added goal or objective, and these goals might be, you know, use 5 blue cards in one turn or deal 20 damage in one turn, and then these will grant you extra cards or extra ability points, extra health, or the ability to evolve or upgrade a card, all kinds of different things. So you have just kind of a very basic idea of which route you're taking, but you don't know what enemies you're going to be facing. The graphics look great. These characters are like very exaggerated females, and the enemies look nice. There's some very cool looking kind of mythical beasts and characters you're going to be fighting. You're also going to be fighting like knights and more human characters. Backgrounds, everything looks very cool. It's sort of a sci-fi fantasy hybrid. Very cool setting. The sound was really enjoyable as well. I had a blast with this game, trying out all the different characters, trying out some of the different decks and different strategies, and just trying to unlock everything and get a little bit further. I should mention this is a single player only game. It would be cool if they add some multiplayer down the road. I think that would really help out the, you know, the replay value, especially when you have games like Hearthstone, which is totally free and there's always people to play with online. But for what it's worth, it was a really fun single player experience. I sank several hours into it and had a great time, so I highly recommend checking out Neoverse if you enjoy these kind of card battler games at all. There's a lot of fun to be had here, some interesting mechanics I haven't seen elsewhere. But yeah, it's a good time, guys. Check it out on Steam, and if you want to check out Humble Bundle while supporting this channel, my affiliate link is in the description. You can find some really good deals on Steam games and support good causes at the same time. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video today. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you did. That really helps me out a lot and gives me some validation for what I'm doing here. Anyways, thanks again, guys. I will see you next time.